working in my 2003 F-450 Super Duty tow truck. We have our fuel pump relay problem again. I fixed this relay about 4 years ago, where I actually took the junction box out and disassembled it on the bench, unsoldered all the connectors, got into it, repaired the fittings, repaired one of the wires across the circuit board, and I was able to put it back together, and it lasted about 4 years. But last Wednesday night, right before the holiday weekend, the luck of the draw, it quit. And it wasn't the fuel pump, it was the relay again. This time, my repair didn't fail, but the relay itself failed. So I've decided that instead of taking this thing all back apart again, which was a huge problem, I'm going to do a bypass on it. I'm going to bypass the relay and put an external relay in the box. There's lots of people doing this on the web. I found several videos on it, but one of the concerns I had was there's a feature that when you turn the key on and you don't start the motor, after 2 to 5 seconds, the fuel pump is supposed to stop running. The way a lot of these guys are doing it, the fuel pump continues to run if you leave the key on, and that's unsafe. So we're going to start today with looking for the wire that comes from the PCM that powers the relay. I think I know which one it is. I'm going to try and do a test with it and check it out and find it. And I want to use that wire to power my relay. That way it still maintains that feature. So let's get started. There's lots of videos out there on how to take this box out, so we're not going to go into all those details. This is the box. It looks like yours, and we're working on the right one. They use them for several years. I'd like to meet the brain dead guy that thought it was a good idea to put heat sinking missiles inside of a closed box, i.e. the relay, and let's under design it so that it gets hot and eventually melts and fails. Who does that? That's the guy I want to find, because I want to walk up to him and I want to bitch slap him for making us go through all this nonsense. Having said that, the power leads for your fuel pump are right here. Okay, you have these wires right here, and then we have the stuff coming from the PCM, which is this fancy plug right here. You pull this little lever, and you can see as you pull it out, you can pull it up, and then the whole wire comes off. And I see people that have trouble getting that off. It's really simple. It just slides in. It's got a locking mechanism. I'm going to be looking for the wire, and I think I know which one it is. I think it's brown, tan one with the stripe on it, and I'm going to put a test on it with the new tester that I have. Now I'm using a very specific type of tester because I don't want to stress the PCM. I'm going to be testing it with the system hot, so I use a tester that only draws 20 milliamps and has LEDs in it, so if I hit the wrong wire, I'm not overamping or doing something to the PCM and causing the PCM to blow. But I'm going to see if I can't find that wire. Okay, here's what we found. I didn't make you sit through all of the testing. But with this connector, I can connect this test light test for ground and for positive. It only draws 20 milliamps. So the wire that I'm working on is right here in this connector. I don't know if you can see it. It's the number 10 position right here. And you'll see that the connector lights up green. That means it's a ground. Okay, let me see if I can get that to stay put, because I got to hold the camera. Hold on. Come on, stay up there. And you'll notice now I've got it connected in there. When you turn the key on, it stays ground for a few seconds and it goes to positive. Now watch. 1, 2. Now it's positive. Turn it off, it goes back to ground. Okay? This is what disconnects or causes the power to the pump. So right now it's grounded, and it goes from being grounded to not being grounded, which means it goes to positive. So if you have two positive inputs into the relay, nothing happens. So ground, positive. Now a little bit more research is going to tell me that when I hook up my relay, I'm going to hook the power up where it's on all the time. I find a switched power source for the relay, and then there's a switched ground source as well. That's through the PCM. That's what shuts off the relay. So I'll find a switch wire. I can use any one of the wires that are switched here. I'll find a suitable one for the positive, but the negative one for the relay that runs the coil in the relay needs to go to this wire so that the PCM kills the relay and kills the fuel pump after a couple seconds once you turn the key on. That's the safety feature I'm looking for. This is the relay I'm going to be installing. And if you look at it, you can see the connectors. 80 and 85, 85 and 86, if I can read that right, is your coil. The coil inside that causes the electromagnetic connection to close between 30 and 87. So 85 and 86 have to be wired to positive and then to that ground cable to make it work. And then the ground goes away and the relay disconnects. That's how it's designed. That way it doesn't stress the PCM, and the PCM is able to disconnect the relay with very little effort. So that's what I'm going to be connecting to. And then of course the other one goes straight to the fuel pump. You got a ground and a regular on the fuel pump, and those two wires are pretty easy to find on the back of that. And then once installed, it should work just like the one inside the box. Okay. I had to sever the wire because it was feeding the other doofus, brain dead, and so I wasn't getting enough amps to throw the switch. I also discovered something else. This is where all the switching takes place. Your positive lead needs to go to a full positive hookup. And I'm going to put the phone down. Hopefully you'll be able to see it and hear it. But I'm going to touch the lead. I'm going to touch the lead over here to the main power supply. I'm going to put this here. And you should be able to hear it clicking when I turn the key. You'll hear it click on and then off. Listen. I actually have to touch the lead. Nothing there. With power off, it's nothing. Turn it on. Okay, don't make a wire out of it now. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's clicking. You'll hear it. It's not on now. I can feel it in my hand. I turn the key on, it clicks, and then 2 seconds later it shuts off. Hear it? On, off. Turn the key off, turn the key back on, off. That's what we want to happen. That's disabling the fuel pump after 2 seconds because the motor's not running. Okay, we're all Mickey Mouse together here for a test. I found the lead for the fuel pump. Here it is, goes through the inertia switch. And of course our original connection here for the thing. We're going to turn the key on and we're going to see if the pump comes up. And see if it starts. Hallelujah! Check that crap out. I'm brilliant. It worked. My truck's running. Oh, I'm so cool. And I've maintained all the original safety features. I bypassed the one inside. It's running perfectly. And we're good to go. Now I just got to put it all back together. We've started it up. We've checked everything. I'm just going to give you a rehash of what I've done here. This wire right here is a switched wire from the PCM that supplies power until it notices there's no RPM. And then it shuts off. That usually takes about 2 seconds. I've severed that wire, and instead of running it into the junction box where it would power the relay inside the junction box, I've run it to my relay here. And of course I've downsized the wire. Okay? So if the engine's not running, it applies power to this relay for 2 seconds and then it shuts it off if there's no RPM reported. If not, it stays on so the truck will run. That was by design to keep so you can turn the key on and you don't sit there with the fuel pump running all the time the engine's not running. I needed that feature back. I want to make sure it worked. This is the lead right here. You can see it's the second wire back on the right hand side. It is the yellow our green wire with the yellow stripe, that goes over to the inertia switch, which is over there on the firewall, or on the kick panel on the passenger side. I confirmed it's the right wire. Then your inertia switch still works. So if you get in a wreck, the fuel pump will shut off, okay? Irregardless of what's going on with the relay. We have full power coming here. This is a relay power to the fuel pump. I'm going to put a 30 amp inline fuse in this when I install it. This is a temporary connection, but I'm going to put a 30 amp on that. And then this system is already dealt with. So I'm going to drop a inline fuse here, a little 5 amp. So that'll be done. And then this will be going to, actually what I'm going to do is I'll put the 5 amp on this wire there. This is a positive lead into that. So it will be fused on both sides of the relay. So you have a 5 amp for the coil and a relay, and a 30 amp for the pump wire, the pump lead, which is this lead right here. Actually the yellow one. And then I'll button it all up, and that solves my problem. I'll include the 2 diagrams I found that show me where the links are on the wires, and there you have it. Every time somebody does a video, somebody comes along and upgrades it a little bit, and I liked all the ones I found, but I didn't like that they didn't have that delay to shut off. So I solved that problem, and I bypassed this silly box, so I won't have to worry about it anymore, nor do I need to buy a new one at about $450. I'm just not going to do it. I got maybe 25 bucks invested in this today. Yoo-hoo, it runs. Okay, we're all wired up. I lost the cover to this a long time ago. 2 fuses here. This one is a 30 amp. This one's going to be a 5 amp. All I had was a 15 for now. This drives the relay. This drives the fuel pump. Those are the 2 now, the 2 new fuse relays. We've taken them completely out of the box. I want a really small fuse here because I'm connected directly to the PCM. So I could probably even get away with a 2 amp, but I'm going to go ahead and put a 5 in it. We're all wired in. Relay's easy, accessible if I ever have a problem. It's out there where it'll stay cool. And this job, I know there's a lot of wires in here. I got cameras and all kinds of stuff on this truck. This job is finished. No more problem. Fuel pump is getting full power. Starts and runs great. And I'm very satisfied with the outcome. And all the safety features of the system were maintained. So I don't have to worry about the pump running on and causing a problem.